Close your eyes for a moment, not to escape the world, but to enter it more deeply. We have been taught to look outward, to search for meaning somewhere far away, in temples, in scriptures, in the sky. But the real blindness is not of the eyes, it is of the mind. You see trees, but you miss life. You see people, but you miss consciousness. You see events, but you miss the hidden intelligence moving through them. God is not hidden from you. Your mind is distracted from the obvious. To train the mind is not to make it sharp with knowledge, but to make it silent with awareness. When the mind is noisy, everything looks ordinary. When the mind is still, even a stone begins to breathe with divinity. The bird on the branch, the stranger. Passing by, your own breath, rising and falling. Suddenly nothing is profane, everything is sacred. This is not a belief and it is not a philosophy. It is an inner discipline of seeing. When the mind stops judging, labeling, dividing, life reveals its secret unity. Then you do not look for God because you start seeing God everywhere. 2 hours a day is not a small thing. It only appears small because you have never truly been present even for 2 minutes. You live in fragments, divided, pulled in 1,000 directions, thinking you are busy, while in truth you are only scattered. 2 hours a day lived consciously can change the whole quality of your existence, because life is not changed by quantity of time, but by intensity of awareness. A single candle can defeat a room full of darkness, not by fighting it, but simply by being light. You have been trained to live unconsciously. From childhood you were taught what to think, what to desire, what to fear, but nobody taught you how to be. Your days pass like mechanical routines, waking up, eating, working, talking, sleeping, all done as if you are not there. You are present physically but absent inwardly. 2 hours a day is an invitation to return home to yourself, to reclaim your own being from the marketplace of noise. These 2 hours are not meant for achievement. They are not for becoming someone else. They are for dropping the idea of becoming altogether. When you sit silently, when you walk slowly, when you breathe knowingly, something radical happens. The mind loses its grip. Thoughts still come, but they no longer dominate. You watch them like clouds passing through the sky, and slowly you begin to recognize that you are the sky, not the clouds. The beauty of 2 hours a day is that it does not demand renunciation of the world. You don't have to escape to mountains. You don't have to change your job, your family, your responsibilities. You only have to change your relationship with time. These 2 hours are not against life. They are deeply for life. They are a pause, a sacred interval where you stop running and start seeing. In the beginning, the mind will resist. It will say, this is useless, this is boring, this is a waste of time. The mind is afraid because it survives on constant occupation. Silence is its death. Stillness is its disappearance. If you persist gently without force, you will see that beneath the restlessness, there is a deep longing to rest, to dissolve, to be free from the endless chatter. During these 2 hours, do nothing in particular. Sit, walk, listen, watch. Let sounds come to you instead of chasing them. Let thoughts rise and fall without interfering. Do not try to control the mind. Control is violence. Just be a witness. Witnessing is the greatest alchemy, the moment. You witness anger, it begins to lose its fire. The moment you witness fear, it begins to melt. Awareness transforms without effort. Slowly these 2 hours will start overflowing into the remaining 22. You will notice a subtle shift. You will respond instead of reacting. You will listen more and speak less. You will feel less burdened by the past and less anxious about the future. Life why? It'll not change on the surface immediately, but at the center, a revolution will have begun. 2 hours a day is like opening a window in a closed room. Fresh air enters. Stale air leaves on its own. You don't have to push it out. Your old patterns, your unconscious habits, your unnecessary suffering have survived only because there was no awareness. Awareness is a fire. It burns without smoke, without noise, without effort. You have been searching for a new life in changing circumstances, in changing people, in changing places. The new life is not outside. It is a new way of seeing, a new quality of presence. 2 hours a day is enough to remind you of who you really are before the world named you, before society shaped you, before fear conditioned you. When you touch that inner space, even briefly, you will feel a deep relaxation, as if you have been carrying a heavy load for lifetimes and suddenly you are allowed to put it down. In that relaxation, joy arises without reason. Peace appears without cause. Love flows without demand. This is not something you create, it is something you uncover. Do not make these 2 hours a discipline filled with seriousness. Make them playful, be curious, like a child who is seeing the world for the first time. Look at your hands as if you have never seen them before. Listen to silence as if it is speaking to you. Feel your breath as if it is a bridge between the visible and the invisible. If you miss a day, don't feel guilty. Guilt is another trap of the mind. Simply return the next day. This path is not about perfection, it is about sincerity. Even imperfect awareness is far more powerful than perfect ignorance. One day you will suddenly realize that the new life you were waiting for has already arrived, quietly, gently, without announcement, growing inside these simple 2 hours a day, spreading into your words, your relationships, your work, your solitude, until the boundary between meditation and life disappears and everything becomes an expression of the same silent consciousness, flowing, breathing, watching, alive in this very moment, without effort, without ambition, without fear, just being here, now live and present within, and without you are not living your life, you are repeating it. Every morning looks like the previous morning. Every reaction is borrowed from the past. Every decision is conditioned by memory. Habit has become your master. Habit is efficient, comfortable, and dead. Awareness is risky, uncomfortable, and alive. To move from habit to awareness is the real revolution, because it does not change your outer structure immediately, it changes the inner operator. Habit means the mind is running the show. You wake up and the mind is already talking, planning, worrying, replaying yesterday, imagining tomorrow. Before you even open your eyes, you are already old. Awareness is waking up before the mind wakes up, feeling the body, hearing the sounds, tasting the silence. In awareness, each day is fresh. In habit, each day is a photocopy. You eat habitually, you walk habitually, you speak habitually, and then you wonder why life feels tasteless. Taste does not disappear from life, it disappears from awareness. When you eat in awareness, even simple food becomes nourishment. When you walk in awareness, even an ordinary road becomes a pilgrimage. When you listen in awareness, even silence becomes music. Habit lives in the past. Awareness lives in the present. The past is already dead, yet you cling to it because it is familiar. Awareness demands courage because it has no map. Each moment has to be met freshly. There is no guarantee, no script, no rehearsal. That is why the mind prefers habit. It feels safe. But safety is not life. Safety is survival. Life happens only when you are vulnerable to the moment. To train yourself in awareness for 2 hours a day means interrupting the mechanical flow. It means watching yourself doing the simplest things. Watching how you brush your teeth. Watching how you drink water. Watching how you react when someone disagrees with you. Watching how anger arises, how fear tightens the body, how desire pulls the mind forward. Watching without judging, without correcting, without suppressing. The moment you judge, awareness collapses into habit again. Judgment is a habit. Condemnation is a habit. Even praise is a habit. Awareness has no opinion. It's simple. I sees. And in seeing, transformation happens. Not because you try to transform, but because false things cannot survive in the light. Habit is repetition. Awareness is discovery. Habit asks, what should I do now? Awareness asks, what is happening now? Habit wants conclusions. Awareness enjoys the mystery. Habit wants answers. Awareness loves questions. Habit wants control. Awareness allows exist. To move through you. In awareness, you will start noticing gaps between thoughts. At first, they're very small, like tiny cracks in a wall. Through these cracks, light enters. Slowly, the wall weakens. One day, you realize the wall was never solid. It was made of borrowed ideas, fears, beliefs, expectations. Awareness does not fight the wall, it simply reveals its unreality. Do not try to destroy habits directly. That is another habit of violence. Simply bring awareness to them. Smoke consciously, and you will see the absurdity of it. Get angry consciously, and the anger will lose its poison. Lie consciously, and the lie will choke you. Truth is not a moral rule, it is a natural outcome of awareness. When awareness grows, responsibility grows automatically, not responsibility imposed by society, but responsibility arising from intelligence. You will not hurt others, not because it is written in a book, but because you can feel them. Awareness creates sensitivity. Sensitivity creates compassion. Compassion creates a different quality of living. These 2 hours a day are training grounds. Here you learn to be alert without tension, relaxed without sleepiness. Slowly, this alertness follows you into the market, into the office, into relationships. You begin to see how much of your suffering was unnecessary, how much of it was created by unconscious repetition. You will also see that awareness brings joy without excitement. Excitement is habit. It needs constant stimulation. Joy is awareness. It needs nothing. It is self-luminous. It is the joy of simply being here, breathing, existing without any reason. From habit to awareness is from darkness to light. Not dramatic, not sudden, but subtle, gradual, like dawn. The sun does not jump into the sky, it slowly dissolves the night. Awareness does the same. One moment you are less angry, another moment you are less afraid, another moment you are more silent, and then one day you realize you are living. Not repeating, responding, not reacting, seeing, not sleepwalking, present in this moment, without yesterday pulling you backward or tomorrow dragging you forward, just this now, alive, alert, open, flowing, conscious, and real. You think transformation needs great effort, long years, dramatic changes, but this is another deception of the mind. The mind always thinks in terms of big plans because big plans can be postponed. Small time lived totally is dangerous to the mind because it cannot escape. 2 hours a day, lived with total intensity, are enough to shake the very roots of your old life. Totality matters, not duration. You waste hours every day unconsciously and call it living. You scroll, you talk, you worry, you imagine, you regret. Time passes but nothing grows. Then you doubt that 2 hours can change your life. 2 hours lived unconsciously are nothing. 2 hours lived totally are eternity. In totality, time disappears. In unconsciousness, even eternity would be insufficient. When you are total, even for a few moments, something clicks inside. You are no longer divided. You are not thinking one thing, feeling another, doing something else. You are one. This unity is health. This unity is intelligence. This unity is what religions have mistakenly called holiness. It is simply being whole. Small time with total presence is like a seed. The seed is small, Al, most invisible, but it contains the whole tree. 2 hours a day are seeds. If you water them with awareness, they will grow roots into your unconscious, breaking old patterns silently. You will not even notice how anger becomes weaker, how fear loses its grip, how clarity starts appearing in situations where you were once confused. The mind says, "What can 2 hours do against years of conditioning?" This is a wrong question. Light does not fight darkness for years. It appears, and darkness is gone. Conditioning survives only in the absence of awareness. The moment awareness is there, conditioning is exposed. Exposure is enough. Totality means you are not holding back. When you sit completely. When you walk completely. When you listen completely. No part of you is elsewhere. No part of you is planning, calculating, remembering. This completeness brings a tremendous energy. You have been tired not because you do too much, but because you do everything partially. In total presence, even rest becomes deep. Even sleep becomes meditation. Even work becomes play. You start feeling energy rising without effort because leakage stops. Your energy was leaking thought. A constant inner conflict. Totality closes the leaks. You are afraid of totality because you are afraid of losing control. Totality means surrendering to the moment. It means trusting life enough to be here without defenses. But only in this vulnerability does life touch you. Only then does existence respond. These 2 hours are an experiment in total living. You don't divide them into practice. You don't label them as meditation, prayer, or discipline. You simply decide to be absolutely present, whatever you are doing. If thoughts come, you are totally aware of thoughts. If silence comes, you are totally silent. If restlessness comes, you are totally restless, watching it. Slowly you will see that totality has its own intelligence. It knows when to act and when to wait. It knows when to speak and when to remain silent. This intelligence is not borrowed from books or teachers. It is innate. It was always there, covered by distraction. When you touch this intelligence even briefly, trust arises. Not belief, but trust. A feeling that life knows what it is doing, that you don't have to manage everything. This trust relaxes the nervous system, the mind, the heart. In this relaxatio, N, transformation happens naturally. Do not ask for immediate results. Totality is not a business investment. It is a love affair with existence. Sometimes you will feel blissful. Sometimes you will feel empty. Accept both totally. Even emptiness, when lived totally, becomes luminous. 2 hours of total presence begin to echo through the whole day. You will find yourself more present even when you forget to be present. Awareness becomes your background. Unconsciousness becomes a passing cloud. Slowly, the center of gravity shifts from mind to being. You were never meant to live as a fragment. You were meant to live as a flame, burning wholly, not partially. 2 hours a day give you permission to burn, to shine, to exist without apology, without compromise, without postponement. Here now, whole. Alive, intense, silent. Flowing, real and complete, meeting yourself beyond noise is the ultimate adventure of life. You have been running outside, seeking fulfillment in achievements, relationships, possessions, and recognition. Yet the one place you have never truly visited is your own being. You have been surrounded by noise all your life. The noise of thoughts, opinions, media, obligations, memory, anticipations, desires. And in that constant clamor, your essence has remained unheard, unseen, untouched. To meet yourself beyond noise means to step out of the endless chatter and for once simply listen to the silence within. This silence is not empty, it is full of depth, vastness, and intelligence. When you step into it, you realize that life has been speaking to you all along, but you were too busy listening to the wrong voices. Every moment spent in noise creates layers of forgetfulness, layers that hide your truth. 2 hours a day of conscious withdrawal, of gentle retreat into awareness, clears these layers gradually. It is like wiping a dusty mirror. Slowly, the reflection of your own soul begins to appear, shimmering with clarity. Meeting yourself beyond noise is not an intellectual exercise. The mind will try to interpret it, analyze it, and control it, but true encounter happens only when thinking is suspended, when judgment is paused, and when attention rests in pure presence. In these moments, you experience a profound aliveness that is independent of any external circumstances. Your heartbeat, your breath, your sensations, they become your companions. You start realizing that everything outside is a reflection of what is inside. And by meeting yourself in stillness, you change the way the world appears to you. Noise has been the prison of the human spirit. From childhood, you have been conditioned to mimic, to follow, to perform, to conform. The continuous hum of obligations, expectations, and comparisons keeps you disconnected from yourself. But when you intentionally create time away from this noise, even 2 hours a day, you give yourself the rare gift of intimacy with your own being. In this intimacy, you rediscover your own rhythm, your own color, your own voice. You meet a presence that is unshakable, a silent observer that witnesses life without judgment, a friend who has been waiting patiently for your attention all along. Beyond noise, you meet your fears without panic, your desires without clinging, your anger without reaction, and your joy without dependence. You learn that these inner movements are like waves on the ocean of your being. They arise, they flow, they dissolve, and you are not the wave, you are the vastness in which they appear. In this meeting, you begin to taste freedom, the freedom from identification with the transient, the freedom from compulsive reactions, the freedom from the tyranny of your own mind. This is a subtle transformation, but it is total. The more you meet yourself beyond noise, the more life begins to align effortlessly with your being. Decisions are clearer, relationships more authentic, work more inspired, and even suffering becomes meaningful because it is witnessed rather than resist. The outside world no longer controls your inner weather. Silence becomes your companion, stillness your sanctuary, and consciousness your guiding force. In time, these 2 hours of daily practice do not remain separate. They spill into the remaining 20 to 2 hours, turning ordinary life into sacred presence. Walking, speaking, working, listening, loving, everything becomes infused with this deep awareness. You begin to live not for distraction or validation, but from a place of inner fullness. Meeting yourself beyond noise is not a task, it is a return, a homecoming, an unfolding of the life that has always been waiting inside you, quiet, patient, and luminous. Step into this practice. Step into yours. Let the noise fade, and let the voice of your own being, timeless and infinite, rise. Let it guide your day. Let it shape your life. Let it reveal the sacredness that was never lost, only forgotten, until you choose to remember, until you choose to meet yourself wholly here and now, beyond the noise, alive, awake, and free.